Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box, where today I want to talk about a really, really great musician from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and beyond. And this is Leon Haywood. Now, Leon Haywood was someone who really he came into the music industry the old-fashioned way. Some would say the hard way. And this is with a lot of touring with other bands, a lot of session work, a lot of side gigs, a lot of writing gigs. And because he became so acclaimed within the industry, particularly in soul and R&B, he ended up working in the backing band of Guitar Slim, who is one of Frank Zappa's heroes. Then he was a member of Sam Cooke's band playing keyboards. And that was a gig that he had right up until Cooke's very unfortunate and too young death. He worked with Dyke and the Blazers, who are probably a bit less known than Sam Cooke, and maybe even Guitar Sim, but they were a really great R&B soul band from the 60s and 70s. But it was really in the funk era, even though he got his beginnings dating back to the 50s, it was in the funk era that he really came into his own. And he had a string of albums that were all really good, that are fortunately on most of them now are on Spotify and all the rest of them. The three albums that are sort of considered his strongest are Back to Stay from 73, Keep It in the Family from 74, and especially, the album that's considered his crowning achievement is Come and Get Yourself Some from 1975. And this album it's a great reflection of his writing talents, his performing talents, his singing talents, and his ability to really write a memorable hook. Now, his career tended to diminish by the early 80s, but he's one of the people, perhaps more than anyone, whose career was revived because of the popularity of hip hop and the innovations of Dr. Dre as a producer in the early 90s. People forget just how Dr. Dre conquered the world in the 90s because there's sort of been a media campaign run by certain people who don't like him to try to diminish his influence, but it was huge. I would say in my book, he's the most important producer in hip hop, even though a lot of people from all sides of the argument are trying to diminish that. Now, Dre was someone who was a great producer for many reasons, but he really loved music. He has an eidetic memory for music, and his life has sort of been building a collection of music, whether it's sort of Roy Ayers and Herbie Hancock, or George Clinton and the Ohio Players. But one record that he had was indeed Joe Biden moment there, Leon Haywood's "Come and Get Yourself Some," because the track that he probably is most associated with, Nothing But a G Thing, is based around a reproduction because Dre didn't really do strict samples by that time. It was based on, a cover essentially of I Want to Do Something Freaky to You, a song written and performed by Haywood on this album from 75. A lot of people by 1992, when they had encountered Dre's version on The Chronic, they weren't even aware that there was a song that this was based off of. But then people went back and they started listening to Leon Haywood's albums and they thought, wow, this guy's really good. Why isn't he more well known? Well, fame is one part talent, but it's also one part management, lawyers, marketing people, which is kind of unfortunate. And I mean, those were the days before Spotify. And so while he did have a very long and musically fruitful career, I'm really, for one, glad that Dre revived his popular fortunes in the 90s. And to this day, everyone knows the song, even if they don't know it by name. But check out the whole album and check out Leon's other albums. They're all really good. Just well played, well produced, well composed. You won't be disappointed. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.